Today we're talking about the 5 ways INFJs keep shocking everyone. INFJs are the perfect example of the metaphor of still waters run deep. INFJs are not what they seem, and they're also not the typical thing you read about online. So very often if you read those explanations of INFJs, it's like INFJs are snowflakes and they're the counselor and they want to help others. But there's so much more about us, and people are so often flabbergasted, dumbfounded, just shocked when they encounter what the INFJ is all about. So today we're looking into 5 ways INFJs keep shocking everyone, and I'm curious to know if you've done all of those 5. I'm pretty sure you have. Before we get started, I want to remind you that INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp is launching May 6th, so make sure you're on that waiting list so you get access to the early bird prize, get notified once we go live, and you can become part of this amazing community of INFJs who keep tapping into their INFJ Epic Life. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. Number 1, the INFJ knows more about others than they will ever reveal. How often have you been in a situation where you encounter somebody who knows absolutely everything you know about them? This probably barely ever happens. We always know so much more about another person than we're showing to the outside. That's part of our nature. And at some point, you're going to let some things out. You're either going to slip up, or you're going to use it in a situation where you need to protect yourself or where you just need to prove a point. INFJs pick up so much. They pick up insecurities. They pick up, things that other people are hiding. They pick up when other people are lying to them, trying to, play a role. Those are things that the INFJ is keenly aware of. And at some point, the INFJ will make it known, consciously or subconsciously. And the other person is always shocked and stunned and pretty much needs to take a step back in order to figure out how to handle this. Number 2. Deep down, the INFJ is very strong-minded. INFJs very often seem to be very malleable, right? The INFJ seems to be always compromising, always helping out others, always putting themselves last. And so this might evoke the impression that the INFJ isn't really strong-minded, that they are pretty much pushovers. When in reality, we're very often stepping back out of a strategy standpoint. Like, we know why we're doing this, we know that this is going to bring the best outcome for everybody involved, and that's why we need to do this. But when it comes down to it, when it comes down to you needing to step up for yourself, you need to protect yourself, you need to make sure that things that are very important to you get done, the INFJ's strong mind really comes out. This is something every INFJ can vouch for. Because you know people, you understand them. And so that's why it surprises us as INFJs that very often people actually are not standing up for themselves when they should. They're not really making the choices that are healthy for them. They're allowing other people to abuse them to a point where we never would. Because we might do certain things, that are not healthy for us. But there's always this notion of, I'm doing this, but I'm actually looking at it from the outside. Like, I'm still aware of what's going on. And I know that at the end of the day, if I need to, I can take control. We can do this. And that's why we allow others to do so much, around us that might not be healthy, because we know that when it comes down to it, we do have the strong mind to pull ourselves out of it. Number 3, we execute plans long into the future. Like, this is something not only others aren't really aware of, but I also feel INFJs aren't always consciously aware of this, that if we have a plan and it's really important to us and we stick to it, we're going to choose something that's going to require a little bit of time. So that's why most people look at us and they don't see, that's a person who gets stuff done. That's a person who goes after their dreams. This is somebody who makes, incredible things happen, because we have such a great vision that if we decide to go towards that, it's going to take some time for it to manifest in the real world. Meaning it's going to take some time until this idea, turns into something tangible that other people can see, touch, and appreciate. And so, of course, people are going to be shocked if they're not paying attention to you that much. And then after 3 years, they sort of look into your direction and see that you've created something amazingly. But that's just how we are. We have to be aware of this. And we also have to be aware of that because of that, people are constantly going to underestimate us. That's just the way it is, and it doesn't have to be a bad thing. When people underestimate you, that's when you can surprise them. That's when you can grow on your own terms and at your own pace and create the results you always wanted. And number 4, INFJs have probably lived 7 lifetimes so far. And I'm not talking about being reborn. I'm talking about having had to reinvent themselves over and over again. INFJs experience the world so deeply, and it's not just an emotional thing, right? This is not like INFPs are experiencing life. No, this is coming from a world of seeing the world intensely, experiencing it on a deep level. And because we do that, and because we melt with people so easily, we get into situations which force us to, transform ourselves, which force us to shed parts of ourselves, to, decide who we want to be, to decide what we want and who we are. And it feels like we've gone through 5 midlife crises before others have even hit one. But all of those situations have made us stronger. All of those made us not just more mature, but made us more determined to know what we want, who we are, and how we want to live life. And this is something that shocks people very, very often, because it's not like people come up to you and say, oh, you have reinvented yourself, or you're somebody different than you were 2 years ago. It's not even that people encounter while you go through it. But once they get to know you, they see that you're so much more ahead in so many areas when it comes to, having been through it, having already gone through hell, right? There are certain things that happen in our life that are independent of if you're an INFJ or not, that are very painful, and they transform you as a person. They can hit everybody. But independent from those things, we are naturally gearing towards those hard moments that are forcing us to grow, because it's just part of our nature. We need to grow, and so we go towards those situations that are going to force us to grow. And number 5, the INFJ is fiercely independent. This is something other people will learn once they're faced with the INFJ door slam. This is not the only situation where the INFJ is, fiercely independent and, is saying, I'm going my own way. It's just an example of when the INFJ really puts their mind to it and really says, I cannot do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Then they can. Very often other types still cannot bring up the strength to leave a situation or, to do what is in their best interest, because they don't have the power to stand alone. So they rather stay in situations that are unhealthy for them, knowing that this is going to bring them completely down, but they have no other choice because they need this connection one way or another. The INFJ might get in unhealthy situations, might get into situations where they're being, gaslit or, in situations with narcissists. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, we can be fiercely independent. And because people are not used to this, and this is not the way they are, they're completely shocked once they see how much you're able to actually say, this is it, I'm done. Remember, if you want to become part of the INFJ Epic Life community, then join the bootcamp. Sign up for the waiting list. Get excited about our next round. Everything you need to know you can find in the links in the description. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the 5 weirdest habits of the INFJ.